Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Slab for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2022. I'm Nate, and I'm here with your sports card rundown. If you like this video, please click the like and the subscribe button. Helps us get this video out to more card collectors like yourselves. All right, first up today, we've got the trender, and that is Bojan Bogdanovic, former Jazz player, going to the Pistons, and he's been about the only bright spot for the Pistons this season. Not only do they have one of the worst records in the NBA, as of Sunday afternoon, they were the worst record in the NBA, but also they lost Cade Cunningham for the year, their star point guard, number one draft pick, yada, yada, yada. They lost him for the year to a shin injury. And that's pretty disappointing for a team that had high hopes to build off of this year with Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Bogdanovic, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes, so on and so forth. There was some high hopes, maybe not to be good, but to develop. And that, by and large, hasn't happened. But Bogdanovic has been the lone bright spot for this Pistons team. Maybe not the lone bright spot, but the brightest of bright spots for this Pistons team that has struggled in the early going. He is both averaging career highs, 20-plus points a game, and career highs in assists, and he is also blowing out his career averages in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throw percentage, and shot attempts per game. Any way you look at it, Bogdanovic has been amazing for the Pistons. Now, he is 33. It's his first year in Detroit. He is 33. He just signed an extension for another 2 years. So we'll see how long he has playing at this level and also how long he has as a centerpiece for the Detroit Pistons, and if he'll be there by the time the Detroit Pistons are good enough to maybe contend in the East. But as of right now, he has been really, really impressive this season. But his card market, well, it hasn't seen a ton of movement. All time, we're looking at his 2014 Prism Silver rookie PSA 10. All time, it is up 150%, but it hasn't sold since April of 2022, which means we just looked this past weekend in the Daily Slab, we looked at a guy in Jimmer Fredette. If you don't get the Daily Slab, sign up for the Daily Slab email. We looked at Jimmer Fredette, and we looked at his cards, and one Prism Silver went for an astronomical price because it was a Pop 6. Well, this is a Pop 13, so it's very rare, and there's potential that the next one that comes up for sale with this impressive season will be significantly more expensive than what it has been, hovering around the $40 to $50 mark. So we'll see what happens when the next one comes up for sale. But Bogdanovic, the one of the few bright spots for the Detroit Pistons this season. Next up, we have our IG post of the day. And I wanted to bring this up because, well, we brought up a little baseball on the main SlabStox page, and usually baseball doesn't get a ton of comments. Not the main driver of the SlabStox page there, but this one did pretty well. And so the question was, Shortstop Madness, 2023 breakout star, and you had to choose between Jazz Chisholm and O'Neal Cruz, both 24-year-old shortstops, both impressive, but get there in different ways. And you see the prices here, $175 for a PSA 10 Bowman Chrome Auto of Jazz and $525 for a PSA 10 auto of O'Neal Cruz. That's a drastic difference for two guys that were worth about the same wins above replacement last year at 2.3 and 2.4. 2.3 for Cruz, 2.4 for Jazz, according to Baseball Reference. So they're both valuable. They got there in different ways. Jazz was the much better hitter, 860 OPS compared to O'Neal Cruz's 744 OPS, but Cruz is 6'7". He has the fastest arm in the infield in the MLB. He was the fastest runner in the MLB. He had the highest exit velocity of anybody in the MLB at 120 miles per hour last year. He has immense upside. Will he get there? We don't know. So there is your rub, is Jazz. He's cheaper. He has the higher floor. He's probably more consistent and likely to hit his ceiling, whereas O'Neal Cruz has an insane ceiling he may never hit, but the potential is you buy him at 525 and you end up having the best player in baseball, regardless of being on the Pirates or not. And so that was the question, and I want to hear your answer because most people on Instagram said, oh, give me Jazz all day long. Very few and far between were willing to bet on the risk and upside of Cruz as opposed to the already good bat and going to be playing shortstop for the Marlins, Jazz Chisholm at 24. So I want to hear what you pick. Will you pick Jazz or will you pick O'Neal Cruz? Do you go with the floor and the sure thing, or relatively sure thing, or do you go with the upside and the risk in Cruz? Let us know in the comments below. And then lastly, we've got who's hot, and who's hot today is Jarrett Stidham. Yeah, Jarrett Stidham, former Patriot, now a Raider, got traded before the season started, became the backup for the Raiders. And, well, he's getting a couple starts at the end of the year. They sent Derek Carr home to limit distractions and see what Jarrett Stidham can do. And, well, I'd say he held his own. They lost in overtime to a very good 49ers team, 37-34, something that Derek Carr probably wouldn't have done himself. And Stidham, well, his stats are pretty good. 23 for 34 for a 67.6% completion percentage. He threw for 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 108.7 passer rate, or a 108.1 passer rating. That's pretty good considering Derek Carr has only had 2 games this year that he had passer ratings above 108, at 110 against the Chiefs and 116 against the lowly Texans. So you can throw that game right out. Stidham did this against a very good 49ers defense, which makes it all the more impressive in his first NFL start. So Jarrett Stidham, he was good. Risky to buy these cards, though, because you can see here in last April, a 2019 Contenders cracked ice auto, numbered to 23, BGS 95, sold for $203. That was last April. January 1st of 2023, so, 8 months later, 2019 Contenders rookie base auto, not a cracked ice auto 23, but a base auto BGS 95, sold for $225. That is $22 more for the base auto than what the cracked ice sold for 8 months ago. And I get it. A young quarterback that's never gotten a chance to start before holds his own against a playoff team that is in second place in the NFC. Yeah, that's pretty stinking impressive. But spending that money right now when the Raiders aren't going to make the playoffs and you could get these cards cheaper if you believe in him in 2 months or a month, that is where it's like, ooh, you should be thinking ahead and buy these in a little bit. Because if you're a believer in Stidham, I don't blame you for buying the cards if you think he's going to be the starter next year. But wait until the Raiders are out of the playoffs, out of the picture completely, and then buy when nobody's thinking of them, when baseball season's in full swing and basketball's going, hockey playoffs and everything like that. Lastly, what's happening? And what is happening is it is a new year, it is a new month, and that means we have a new SGC submission for the middle of the month. So if you want to get your cards graded and turned around really quickly, our last grading submission, we sent it in on a Monday, graded on a Tuesday, shipped back on a Wednesday, which is absolutely insane. If you want to get in on that $18 a card, go to slabstox.com/grading to get your submissions started today. It is the quickest turnaround you can get, and that means money in your pocket if you're looking to sell these cards, especially with NFL playoffs coming up. All right, thank you everyone for watching today's Daily Slab, and I will talk to you on Wednesday for the next Daily Slab. See you, everyone.